Do you see this big smile on my face? Do you see that? Oh, we have a post Super Bowl 2-round Jets mock draft. The Patriots got their ass kicked. Sam Darnold won the Super Bowl. It still doesn't feel real. We've got a special draft expert who's going to be making all the picks. Let's go.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets. We're built for this shit.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Leston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. No, don't adjust the dial. Why is Boy Green on at 7 o'clock? You may just be joining us for this special episode every Monday for the next couple of months. We're going to start 30 minutes earlier, 7 o'clock a.m. Eastern time, so we can have as much time as possible with our special NFL draft expert here on the program. If you rewatch a show or the audio only podcast, well, then none of what I just said makes any difference to you whatsoever. Happy that you're here. Make sure you guys like the videos. You head on in here on YouTube and again, celebrate that man, Sam Darnold. It still doesn't even feel real as I say it, but Sam Darnold is a Super Bowl champion, baby, and the Patriots got their ass kicked. Woo-hoo. That was great. Anywho, let's bring in our special draft expert, baby. It is none other than Drew Batty, Iron City Film. This man was forged by iron, and now he shares that knowledge here on the program. It's Drew gosh darn Batty, baby.
What's up, Paul? How are you? Fun morning after the Super Bowl. Now we're finally into draft season. We can officially say it now that the for everybody else, it's been we've been in draft season for a while, but now we can officially say it without getting kind of chastised by everybody else. The season's officially over now.
That is true, right? I saw that the 31 teams had that ready, saved in the draft in the holster of like the offseason starts now. Ba-boomshka. They have these little 20, 30-second videos, including the Jets who were firing up a literal engine of a jet. And I'm like, ooh, okay. Offseason is here. Again, unfortunately, it's been here for like 4 months for the Jets, but nonetheless, we're officially here now, and that's what matters. And, Drew, as you told me before the show, you were in concert rooting for those gosh darn Seattle Seahawks last night because screw Mike Vrabel because you got your Tennessee Titans blood running through your veins, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to like really blame Vrabel because he got fired by the management here. I can't really do too much, but just the small part of the fan that's left in me, it's hard to want a guy who leaves your team to succeed. So,
Sure.
I wasn't upset that the Seahawks won last night.
Yeah, neither am I. Fuck the Patriots. Wahoo! Anywho, let's get right to it, baby. This is a post-Super Bowl 2-round New York Jets mock draft. Drew Batty, our draft expert extraordinaire, is at the controls. Feel free to get involved in the comments section. Trying to see if you can sway Drew. Can he be swayed? Can he be bribed with super chats and financial money coming in? Maybe. I don't know what kind of guy he is. I guess we'll find out live here on the show. So without further ado, let's do it, folks. Again, for those that are maybe joining us for the very first time, we use the PFF NFL Mock Draft Simulator. So as the simulator goes, we go. Okay, it's a 2-round mock draft. Jets have 4 picks inside the top 2 rounds of the draft. We will do future trade episodes where Drew Batty can go wild west and jump all over the place. But in this current edition, we won't do any trades. Everything is 50-50 except for randomness. And as I've explained before, things get funky. So without further ado, let's start the draft, baby. And as always, Fernando Mendoza goes number 1 overall, which puts the Jets on the board, number 2 overall, the number 1 overall pick of all the non-quarterbacks here in this class. Drew, we've done a couple of these different versions here, but once again, you're at the controls, and let's throw it up here on the big board for people that are watching along. Let's go.
Yeah, so it's right back here, number 2, and it gets difficult because I've already taken Arrell Reese, the linebacker edge hybrid out of Ohio State here once. I've taken Ruben Bain, the edge rusher out of Miami here once. And while I think it's extremely likely that it's one of those 2 guys that are going to be the pick, I'd be surprised if it's anybody other than them here at number 2. Mm-hmm. But for the sake of diversity and for different scenarios, I want to talk through all kinds of different picks here with you guys, just so I can we talk about different things, not talking about the same players over and over and over again. The third player who I'd say is a potential possibility is Texas Tech edge rusher David Bailey. I know we've heard that name for a while now. I've mentioned before, not somebody I have in this range. He's more of a second round player to me. I just think I don't love the pass rush profile, and he's kind of been dubbed as like this pass rush expert and like by far the best pass rusher in this class. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that he's pretty stiff and also doesn't really have, incredibly explosive the first step, the speed, they're all incredible. But really not very flexible at all, while also having no power at the next level. So I think when you have a pure speed guy who can't really bend, it's just you're going to run into the issue of him getting run around the hoop a lot, and just run beyond the pocket. That's usually the issue with why rushers are so stiff. So I don't love Bailey here, but NFL teams are going to fall in love with this guy post combine. He's going to get rolled into the combine. He's going to get measured with official 35-inch arms. He's going to run a 4.40, and he's going to be this combine hero, much like Trevon Walker a couple years ago. And it's a very, very realistic possibility that the Jets could fall in love with him and take him at 2 here. I'm not going to take him here just because I've done the edge at 2 thing twice already, and I want to explore some different possibilities. But
great.
What was your question going to be?
Yeah, I guess my question was going to be, there are some very polarizing takes on David Bailey, just from what I've noticed in the draft community. There's some people that are in love with him and totally see him at number 2 overall and say, oh, that totally makes sense. And there's others like you, I guess, to throw you in that other category, not to shove you into places, but that there's other people that have concerns about him. So, what's your biggest concern with David Bailey? If he was, again, it sounds like he's probably going to go high no matter what the combination, but what's your biggest concern with David Bailey?
Yeah, probably the biggest concern is that I don't think he's a 3-down player at the NFL. I think that he is the run defense just isn't there. He's just not an NFL level run defender to me. I think it's not necessarily, and people will say oh, if a guy can pass rush, you can teach him how to defend the run, which generally I agree with. But the issue about Bailey is not that he doesn't know how to defend the run. It's not a technical issue. The technique is fine. He's got great stack and shed. He knows how to use his length to shed in the run game. The issue is his anchor. He's constantly, you see him get washed out of plays consistently. Just because he's flat out not strong enough. And of course you can just add 10, 15 pounds, sure, but then you risk losing the explosiveness that makes him, is kind of his whole bag as a pass rusher. And like I said, the stiffness really worries me as a pass rusher, because I think to be a speed rusher like he is, just a pure speed guy, you really have to have bend, which he doesn't. His ankles are really stiff, and I think that's going to lead to him getting run beyond the pocket a whole lot. So again, I think he's a good player. I don't think that I like him in the top 5, top 10-ish. I think he's a first round guy in this class, but I wouldn't take him this high. I think here I'm really debating between 2 Ohio State Buckeyes, and that's a receiver and a linebacker.
Okay. Ooh.
And I'll start with Carnell Tate here, the wide receiver out of Ohio State.
Okay. Yeah.
Break down that option. He is my wide receiver 1 in this class.
Okay.
I know for a lot of people, it's really kind of a 3-way tie between Tate, Mekhi Lemon out of USC, you see right there, and Jordan Tyson, the receiver out of Arizona State. Everybody has one of these 3 guys as wide receiver 1. And Tate, to me, just the physical profile of being 6'3", 200 pounds ish, really long frame, very fluid, can sink his hips really well. I think he's probably the better athlete out of those 3. Obviously, he was an incredible field stretcher for Ohio State, amazing deep threat, pretty comfortably the best deep threat in the class. But he kind of gets pigeonholed as only a deep threat when I think he's a lot more than that. He's very good in the intermediate level. Is he a blue chip receiver prospect? Probably not. I don't love taking a non-blue chip receiver prospect in 2nd overall, but that's what the conversation is going to be in a class that's kind of this weak at the top. So if you do want to prioritize getting another receiver to pair with Garrett Wilson, I think that Carnell Tate is comfortably the best in this class, and he would be the guy I'm looking at in the top 5.
All right. Quick question. You sort of may have just answered it there in a different way, but I heard this for the first time, and I hadn't really thought about this, but I knew of it because I know the other guy that's at Ohio State and Jeremiah Smith. But someone else told me I'm not taking a number 2 receiver at his own college in the NFL at that spot. I can't even remember who said it. It was some analyst or insider or something semi-recently that said that. And again, maybe it goes into what you just said, blue chip wise or not blue chip wise. Does that at all come into play, or is it just, hey man, Ohio State just has a lot of really good receivers?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's become kind of a notion that Carnell Tate, because he's never been a wide receiver one at Ohio State, playing behind Marvin Harrison his freshman year, and then it was Anika Egbuka last year, and now it's Jeremiah Smith this year. He's been stuck behind a lot of other first round Ohio State wide receivers. And I have a hard time knocking him for that, because a player he hasn't really gotten his shot until now. And of course, Jeremiah Smith is going to be the best receiver prospect we've seen in decades. So I can't find it in me to knock him for that, for having great teammates at receiver. And I understand the concern of the number one receiver getting all the attention. Carnell Tate's had an easy path, against these lower tier corners. That's just not really how modern defenses work anymore. It's not like in 2002 where you were playing only man coverage and you just shadowed Darrelle Revis with everybody's best receiver. Corners just stay on their side of the field most of the time in these schemes, because everything is so hybrid that Carnell Tate was seeing the best corner just as much as Jeremiah Smith was, more often than not. So that's not something I really take into consideration. But I would not call any of these guys blue chips, and I don't think you feel great about any of them in the top five. But if you were dead set on a receiver, Carnell Tate would be who I'm looking at.
All right. So whoever said that should shut the hell up is what you're saying, Drew Batty.
In a nicer way, yeah, probably.
Okay, yeah, all right, there you go. And then you said you're considering another Buckeye here. You've got a Buckeye, you've got a thing for Buckeyes here. All right, who's the other one?
Yeah, I think everybody has loved my past few mock drafts so much that I think I just really want to get them riled up for once. And I think that I'm going to take a linebacker at second overall, which is not really, and he's actually right there below Carnell Tate on PFF's big board, and that's Sonny Styles, the linebacker out of Ohio State.
Oh wow, okay.
And I'll be the first to preface. I like to keep things realistic when I do these mock drafts, like a mixture between my personal beliefs and realism, because if it's not going to actually happen, what's the point of doing this whole exercise? And I'll start this off saying I think it's unlikely that a linebacker goes this early. I don't expect it to happen. I think it's more likely that Sonny Styles ends up outside the top 10 than he does in the top 5.
Real quick follow up there. Don't they call Arvell Reese a linebacker?
Technically, yes, but I think you have to view him very differently, just because the NFL teams are not taking him, top 5 to be a linebacker. They're taking him there because he has the hybrid edge rusher pass rushing profile in his game.
And Sonny Styles doesn't.
It's just pure off ball linebacker.
Okay.
So I mean, I'll preface this with saying I think it's extremely unlikely, but I think it's worth the conversation, because I think that there is. I mean, Sonny Styles and Ruben Bain to me are neck and neck for the best players in this draft class. And I think that, Sonny Styles is comfortably the best linebacker prospect we've seen in a long, long time. He's one of the youngest players in the entire draft. He is, for being the age he is, ridiculously smart. You see him only having 2 years of starting experience at Ohio State, but he reads run concepts and see things develop in front of his eyes faster than most NFL linebackers at this point. He is a top-end athlete at the position. I think he's got all the coverage tools to be an elite coverage linebacker at the NFL. He is incredibly rangy, evades and sheds second-level blocks better than anybody I've seen in a long time. And obviously, we've talked about Jermaine Sherwood and his fit a couple of times in the past episodes, where I was a big fan of him in that signing, but he didn't really have the year you wanted last year. Obviously, Quincy Williams didn't go the way you wanted. So the linebacker spot's very up in the air on this defense. And I understand how bad that positional value looks at second overall. But in a class like this, I think you just have to understand, especially with where the Jets are as a roster, take the best player available. You always hear that, but nobody wants to hear that when it's a linebacker. But you have a hole at linebacker. I think Sonny Styles has a very good shot at being the best player in this entire draft class, regardless of positional value. And I think that if you want to take the actual best player available, it should be Sonny Styles here too.
Wow. Okay. Well, there you have it. I'll just say one more thing here as it pertains to Sonny Styles. Drew Batty, we know you're a Tennessee Titans guy. It sounds like you're really angling here for a potential Jamie Sherwood Titans trade with the Sonny Styles selection. That's what it seems like you're doing, pal. Some ulterior motives, perhaps.
If that ended up as a side effect of this pick, I would be mad, certainly.
So
bring him down to Robert Sala's scheme in Tennessee.
There you go. That's right. Cheers to Salah down there in Tennessee. So do you want to make that official? Yes?
I can't imagine people are going to like this pick very much, but I'll stick to my guns here just to get a little bit of a different scenario here.
There you go. Screw the people. Hit the chimes. All right, with the number 2 overall pick in this 2-round post Super Bowl mock draft, Drew Batty as our general manager for the New York Jets selects Ohio State linebacker Sonny Styles with the number 2 overall pick. Way to mix it up. That's what I'm talking about, baby, which takes us down to 16. Again, this will be the only time I do this during the mock draft simulation, so enjoy it while it lasts. I will tell you guys all the picks that happened between 2 when the Jets just picked and their next first-round pick, which is 16th overall via the Indianapolis Colts trade for Sauce Gardner. All right, number 3 overall, Ruben Bain, the edge rusher out of Miami, went to the Arizona Cardinals. David Bailey went to your Tennessee Titans. That seems sort of fitting. 4th overall in this mock. Arvell Reese slips down to 5th overall. The do-it-all man out of Ohio State, 5th overall to the New York Giants. Jordan Tyson, Cleveland Browns wide receiver, or he is a Cleveland Browns wide receiver now, out of Arizona State, 6th overall. Caleb Downs, the defensive back at Ohio State, went 7th overall to the Washington Commanders. Carnell Tate fell to the New Orleans Saints with the 8th overall pick, wide receiver at Ohio State. Jeremiah Love, the talented do-it-all man at Notre Dame, he goes 9th overall to the Chiefs. Mekhi Lemon, Bengals, 10th overall, the USC wide receiver. Javon McCoy, Tennessee corner to the Dolphins at 11th overall. Francis Mauioa, the offensive tackle out of Miami, went to the Dallas Cowboys. Mansour Delane, the other corner, LSU, 13th overall to the LA Rams. Peter Woods, the defensive tackle out of Clemson, to the Baltimore Ravens. And finally, Cassius Howell, the edge rusher to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 15th overall, which puts us on the clock here with the Jets at 16. You went off-ball linebacker at 2. Now, what are we thinking?
I mean, here I think you're looking at defensive tackle. Of course, we talk about this spot all the time.
Sure.
People, Caden McDonald, the defensive tackle out of Ohio State, has been thrown around a lot here. I really love Caleb Banks out of Florida, the guy at the top of the board there. He's my top overall defensive tackle in this draft class. So if you take DT in the spot, he would probably be my guy. I think we talked about receiver. I've taken receiver here at this spot the past 2 mock drafts we've done. I think that's always an option here. I've taken Casey Concepcion twice. I've laid out how much I love him. He's one of my favorite players in this class. How much I don't love Denzel Boston. So with those 2 being kind of the only options to get mocked here, I'm probably going to pass on receiver in this mock draft. Right. I think, not taking an edge rusher at 2nd overall, edge is certainly on the table. Quarterback, like you have pulled up right now, I think Ty Simpson is in the running. You see Keldrick Falk still on the board, and that's if you pull up the edge board. I think that Falk is probably the one that sticks out here most to me. I think Mesidor is who I have the highest. Hakeem Mesidor, the edge rusher out of Miami, is who I have the highest on my personal board out of these 3. But I think Falk is going to be the one that goes the highest. I mean, obviously, he's got an incredible frame. 6'6", 280 pounds. I wouldn't say like an elite athlete, but I think he's an above average athlete for that size. Moves very well. I think he is probably the best run defender in this whole class at edge. Either him or Ruben Bain. And you throw Alvaro Reese in there too if you count him as an edge rusher. But Falk, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he never eclipses 4 sacks in his NFL career, but he's going to come in immediately as in a season. I shouldn't say in his career.
Right.
But I mean, he could come in as a day one, potential best run defender on your team or on your front 7. So I mean, that's going to be his value in this class. Is just coming in at how good of a run defender he is, his frame, his traits. But he kind of rushes like a pure speed rusher for being 6'6", 280 pounds. There's really just no power or no pop in his hands as a pass rusher. So he's got a very, very weird pass rushing profile. But I think with the Jets trading Quinnen Williams, you really need to replace that presence on the interior. And I think I have to pivot to Florida defensive lineman Caleb Banks here at the spot. You saw him leave the Senior Bowl as probably the biggest winner to me, or one of the biggest winners. He's got ridiculous length. He will also probably measure in with 35-inch arms. I think he's a good athlete, extremely powerful. He's got an awesome push-pull. I think he's a plus run defender while also being one of, if not the best pass rusher in the defensive tackle class this year. And I think he is your replacement to the Quinnen Williams presence that you lost on the interior.
Wow. Well, obviously, with Quinnen gone, we have a big friggin' gaping hole right there in the middle of the defense. There's no question about it. So, some Caleb Banks action. Now, What's been sort of the career at Florida for Caleb Banks, ups and downs and things of that nature in terms of the tape? Because I know, Drew, you've said before that's an important piece to your puzzle is that you want the arrow pointing up. Long story short, heading into their whatever their last college season was, you want the arrow pointing up heading into the draft. Is that the case here for Caleb?
Right. I mean, that's a personal philosophy of mine. Where if a guy is kind of like a down year in the year he's draft eligible, that's something that really knocks him on my personal board. And Caleb Banks, we really didn't get to see that, unfortunately, this year. He only played about 90 snaps because he had an injury that took him out of pretty much every game. He only played 3 games in 2025. But he was a top 5 player in the class for me coming in from the summer. I loved his 2024 tape.
Okay.
And I think, obviously only getting to see a handful of snaps in 2025, you can't really glean a whole lot from that. But I mean, his Senior Bowl performance does give me a lot of hope in that direction. That kind of does give you at least a fraction of that arrow pointing up with how well he performed in Mobile. And I think he really impressed the scouts, and I'd be shocked if he's not a first-round player at this point.
All right, you just heard it. So, Drew, that's going to be official?
Yeah, I'll ink it in here.
Here we go. The 2-round post Super Bowl Jets or 2-round mock draft. Drew Batty, our general manager, selects defensive tackle Caleb Banks out of Florida, baby, which means Drew Batty learned some lessons from that Super Bowl that defense still wins championships. He's stacking up on defense here for the New York Jets with these assets. Very nice. Hey, we could use some more activity there. All right, Drew, we now have the 33rd overall pick. This is a first pick in the second round. The Jets earned this with their terrible record this past season. So the first pick of the second round is very juicy. A good opportunity here. Where do you want to go?
Yeah, there are 2 really interesting players that I see here on the top of the board here that I'm going to have a hard debate between, and that is edge rusher Akeem Mesidor out of Miami, who I even talked about at 16, and Chris Bell, the receiver out of Louisville. So obviously, starting with Chris Bell, we didn't take a receiver in the first round. I think that's something that needs to be a priority for the Jets in this draft. You need to find a second receiver to pair with Garrett Wilson and give whoever you give the keys to a quarterback, whether it's a stopgap guy this year, whenever you get your franchise quarterback, you want him to come into a position with 2, great receivers to help that transition into the NFL. And Chris Bell, I think, is going to be the logical choice for a receiver at the top of the second round. I think he's extremely explosive, big frame, very physical at the catch point. He's there's some shades of A.J. Brown in his game. I feel like he's very, very physical, very big, very explosive. Not the most polished or refined separator. I think he has the raw tools to be a good separator, but he just needs some refinement, needs some coaching to really polish it up. Obviously, I think he was well on his way to being a first-round pick in this draft class before the ACL tear at the end of the season that unfortunately knocked him down. But, I mean, he's supposedly going to be good for camp this year, so I don't think it'll affect him too much, but it will probably knock him out of the first-round talks like he was kind of in before. The other option that I'm kind of weighing here, not taking an edge rusher in the first round, is Akeem Mesidor, edge rusher out of Miami, kind of Ruben Main's running mate, who emerged this year. Now, the biggest issue with him is his age. You really hear him. I think at the end of the day, I think he'll be a first-round pick in this draft class. But I don't think it's out of the question at all that he falls 33 here. He's going to be a 26-year-old rookie, which is the.
Oh yeah, no, I have his age here. He's 24.
Is he 25
in April?
Okay, 25.
So he will be
26.
25 for 2026. Yeah, I just want to make sure.
Okay, so 25-year-old rookie. Excuse me.
Season. But
Thank
still
you
old
for
as
checking me
hell.
on that.
Yeah, I mean,
I've heard some people say 25, some people say 26.
Okay.
Ages are strangely hard to find on draft prospects sometimes.
Yeah.
Like the amount of wrong birthdays that float around on some of these guys is really surprising. But yeah, either way, Mesidor is he's going to be close to 30 by the end of his rookie contract, which is very concerning for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
But he's also one of the more powerful edge rushers in this whole class. I think he's going to be measuring with pretty long arms. I don't have exact numbers there, but I'd imagine he measures in long at the combine. He's a great run defender. I think he's very much your stereotypical 5-tech. You're going to put him in the defensive line. Just a good run defender, strong pass rusher. He's got a fun bull rush, very good hand fighter, technically advanced, which you hope you would be for a 25-year-old rookie. So I think here, I am going to. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Let me try to see if I can influence you, as the guy here. Is there any chance that Chris Bell, the Louisville wide receiver, could fall to 44? Because it sounds like if we're passing the notes around the schoolroom, I don't know if you kids did this, it sounds like you like Mesidor. And hey, defense wins championships, and you were considering him at 16, and he's here at 33. Could we hey, Chris Bell slips to 44? Is that within the realm of possibilities?
Definitely, yeah. That's where I was leaning next. Is just that I think the value of Mesidor is too much to pass up here. Triple up on defense. I know you need a receiver, but I've mentioned it before because all of my mock drafts so far that I've done with you have been overwhelmingly defense. And I know fans want to see offense, but the reality is with a draft class like this, you have to follow the strengths, and the strengths of this class are comfortably on defense to me. And I think the value of Mesidor here is too much to pass up. And you have, with the first 3 picks, you've kind of revolutionized your defense already. So I'll take Akeem Mesidor out of Miami here.
There you go. Hit those chimes, guy in the back. With the 33rd overall pick, the first pick of the second round, in this 2-round post-Super Bowl mock draft, our buddy Drew Batty, who is operating the control, selects Akeem Mesidor, the edge rusher out of Miami. Boom shakalaka. And hey, if we've learned anything after that Super Bowl, yesterday is defense wins championships, baby. And boy, does the Jets defense need some TLC. There's no question about it. So now we're to the 44th overall pick, the final pick of this 2-round post-Super Bowl mock draft. 44th overall, of course, the pick the Jets acquired from that Quinnen Williams trade we talked about earlier with the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. It looks like, unfortunately, Chris Bell, that bastard, didn't make it here. Let me see. How close were we on Chris Bell? Let me just take a peek ski. And, okay, we missed him by a good bit. Your Titans, of course, those bastards. Not Chiefs. Damn Tennessee. Always jumping. Thanks, Salah. Yeah. Nice. All right, anywho, we went all defense with the first 3 picks. Could it be defense again? What are you thinking here?
I will say, I don't think it's out of the question to go all defense with the first 4 picks. I think safety is something that is very much in the realm here. Obviously, with Andre Cisco not having the year you wanted, and also being not under contract anymore, safety is a massive issue. You have a hole there you need to fill. I think it's easier to find safety in free agency if you just have to plug the hole. So I don't think it's something that you have to, you're hitting the panic button. No, we have to draft a guy in the top 50 to play safety. But this is also, this is a historically strong safety class. You're going to be able to find starters at safety all the way through day 3 from this class. To me, I think
awesome.
This is comfortably the strongest safety class I've ever scouted. And I think it's definitely the deepest we've seen in recent memory. But I also think receiver is worth a look here at 44.
Okay. All right. Can I also ask you about a guy before we go to receiver? Colton Hood out of Tennessee. What do you make of him?
Yeah, I'm really surprised to see him still here in the 40s. On PFF Sim, I guess they have him lower than most people because I think Hood's comfortably going to be a first-round pick at this point.
Okay, great. So I know we love to do realism, so I don't want to people. I hate when that's we post these mock drafts online as soon as we finish them after these shows, and they're like, "What, Fernando Mendoza, 44th overall?" We all look like idiots. So I like doing things that are somewhat realistic of possibility here. So okay, no, good. I
was going to briefly touch on him though. Yeah, because Colton Hood,
okay.
he's my corner 2 and currently 12th overall on my board. So if you're going off my board, I'd be sprinting that pick in here. Obviously, there's a need, somewhat of a need at corner too. So he'd be an immediate fit, but just I think especially after his Senior Bowl, obviously only doing 2 practices before calling it quits and going home. I think that Colton Hood is kind of inked himself in. It's a top 20 pick at this point, and I don't think there's any chance he's here in the second round.
Okay. Again, I appreciate the honesty there. All right, let's go wide receivers. You don't have to twist my arm, baby. Let's jump on in here. It looks like the wide receiver pool was rated a bit here, so based on the PFF board anyway. So we got a couple of Fernando Mendoza's, like Benny and the Jets. We have some of the Jets here in that Benny and the Jets conversation with a couple of Indiana receivers. There's some Miami action, Tennessee action, UConn action, for God's sakes, Georgia. Oklahoma, Clemson, perhaps. All right. What anything revs your engine here, Drew Batty?
Yeah, I think the 2 receivers here that I'm really, really highlighting are Omar Cooper. They're at the top of the board. Omar Cooper Jr. out of Indiana, and Chris Brazzell out of Tennessee. I'll start with Chris Brazzell because I think he is one of the more interesting profiles in this whole draft class. He is 6'5", 220. So obviously you have an incredible frame, imposing, physical, prototypical X type receiver on the boundary in a massive frame. I think he is one of, if not the best athlete out of all the receivers in this draft. His 40 at 6'5", 220 is going to shock a lot of people. On about 30% of snaps, I think that Chris Brazzell looks like the best receiver in this draft class. And the other 70% of snaps, I mean, he's legitimately walking out on the field. On the backside of concepts, you can tell if he doesn't know he's getting the ball and he knows the concept isn't looking his way.
Lazy?
It's I'd heard effort concerns. Like, before you hear things about players, before you get into the tape, I try to keep any preconceived notions out before I watch a guy. But you just hear things sometimes. And I heard people throw around the effort word with Chris Brazzell. And I just imagined, oh yeah, he's probably taking a handful of plays off in a game. It's not nothing too bad. I mean, it's legitimately probably more than half of plays where he's walking on the field. Some people will say that's a Tennessee coaching thing, where they tell them to do that if they kind of save their top gear if they're not getting the ball. But I'm not sure how much I really buy that.
Right.
So I think that's going to be really concerning to a lot of NFL teams. I don't want to project the guy's personality. I've never met him. I don't want to speak on him like that. But I think if you see that on tape, it's likely that he's probably not going to crush the interview process. So the effort issues are concerning. But, I mean, the 30% of plays where he is going full speed, he looks Megatron-esque. I mean, this guy is 6'5", elite athlete, incredible at the catch point. If he played like that on 100% of snaps, he's probably my wide receiver one in this class. But the effort issues are pretty flagrant. So I just that's going to knock him down at this point. I think he's more likely to be a late second, early third round pick. Omar Cooper Jr. out of Indiana, though, the other receiver I highlighted, has really emerged down the stretch for Indiana out of that playoff run. He is kind of more in your my comp for him is Rashee Rice out of Kansas City. Hopefully a better person than Rashee Rice, but on the field, I think they look very similar. They very much fit that mold of power slot, kind of a gadget type guy. He had one of the highest break tackle percentages out of every receiver in the country this year. I don't have the number off the top of my head, but really explosive with the ball in his hand. Looks like a running back. Great contact balance, very elusive. He's somebody that Indiana really centered their screen game around. So he's very much fits that gadget role. I think he's really powerful. 210 pounds, I think he is. Not the best separator in the world. I think he's a plus athlete. But that's why I think he's probably better in the slot. Doesn't handle press particularly well. I have him more of as a late day 2 guy, but I think that he's going to go a lot higher than people think. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes top 50 in the slightest. And if you take a receiver here, I think it's probably Omar Cooper. But again, like I said, safety is very much on the board. So if you want to take a peek at the safety board, I can break down some of the guys there.
Yeah, let me ask you real quick if this at all factors in. So the Jets have the 44th overall pick here. You've already made several picks for the New York Jets. The next time the New York Jets pick is 103. They don't have a third-round pick. They're obviously picking here in the middle of the second round. So they're going to wait a long time. I mean, obviously, do the math, people. 44 to 103. That's a massive gap. Does that at all influence? Again, we've brought this up before, I believe, with like a fantasy draft. Like you're in your fantasy draft and you look at the board and you say, I really want this random receiver. But if I take him, I might get a few laughs in the draft room because I'm taking him, 8 spots ahead of where he should be. But like, if I don't take him, I won't get him. So like, sure, in a fantasy football situation, there's not a lot of, situations where you can trade a pick. So there is that in this NFL draft, but then you start getting cute and maybe you lose out on your guy. Does that all affect you when you have that sort of gap from 44 to 103 and that you may say, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to take this guy just because I love him? Or do you really sort of trust the board here? Not you specifically in this situation. I just mean you in a general
right, just overarching, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely it does. I mean, that's one of the many things that makes drafting in the NFL so hard is you have to look at the nuance of stuff like that. And especially that's why I think I want to talk through some of the safety options here just for the sake of the exercise. But I think more than likely I'll end up going receiver here just because I think that your chances of finding a starting caliber receiver at 44 are infinitely higher than they are at the beginning of day 3. Sure. So I think, and especially in the safety class, I think you're much more likely to find a starting safety on day 3 than you are to find a starting receiver. I will talk about, I've taken AJ Halsey before. I've broken him down. I really like Kamari Ramsey, the safety at USC. I think he's more of your kind of prototypical free safety, coverage safety type guy, your single high. But if I were to take a safety here, Genesis Smith out of Arizona would totally be my guy. He's my safety 2 behind Caleb Downs. I think that he is extremely underrated in this class. Kind of your ideal single high safety if you're going to run more of a single high heavy scheme. Genesis Smith is your guy. You can come down and he's a reliable tackler in the box. He's got a quick trigger. He's a great athlete, super rangy, reliable in coverage. He's kind of really your discount Caleb Downs in this class to me. Like how Caleb Downs has been described as kind of like a Band-Aid, like any problem you have in the secondary, just put Caleb Downs there, he'll fix it.
Yep.
Genesis Smith is very much the same. He's got very kind of the same versatility to me, where like if you need him to play slot, you need him to play in the box, you need him to play deep, single high, wherever you need him. Genesis Smith can play anywhere in the secondary, and he's going to be good. So I really, really like the idea of him in the second round for the Jets with the need they have in the secondary. I think he can plug that hole and be a versatile kind of chess piece there for Aaron Glenn in the secondary. But like I said before, as much as I love safety here, and as much as big of the need, as big as the need is for New York, I think that receiver is just too much. You need to get a running mate for Garrett Wilson. And with, like you mentioned, not picking again until 103, you're just going to have to reach on a receiver. So I think I'll take Omar Cooper Jr. out of Indiana to be running mate with Garrett Wilson.
All right, there you go. So guy in the back, you know what to do. Wide receiver page before I accidentally draft a safety by accident. So let's do this mock draft simulation. And one more time, you said you're going with Omar Cooper Jr., correct?
Correct. Thank you, Did.
There you go. Indiana wide receiver Omar Cooper Jr. is the selection at 44th overall here in the second round of this 2-round post Super Bowl mock draft. Stop. We'll post that report card or tabulating back there. I know how much that means to you here, Drew. So and how that'll affect the rest of your day, depending on that draft grade you receive from Pro Football Focus. So we'll post that.
It really does keep you up at night.
Yeah, I can tell. We've started to get to know each other more and more here, Drew, and I can tell what, really, sort of affects you. You've gotten very vulnerable with me since we've been doing this, and it's a very special relationship that means a lot to me, Drew. So thank you. I'm always here for you. I'm always a shoulder to cry on if that is needed or required in any form or fashion. But here we go. Let's recap it for our audio-only listeners and visual viewers. I will throw this up on the board. You got a I have the scrolling ticker, so I keep teasing you with what it is. There it is. It is a nice solid B. PFF did not like your first selection, but we'll go through all of them here. Second overall in the first round, the New York Jets selected linebacker Sonny Styles out of Ohio State. 16th overall, we have defensive tackle Caleb Banks out of Florida for the New York Jets. 33rd overall, the first pick of the second round, we had edge rusher Akeem Mesidor out of Miami, the running mate of one Ruben Bain. And then 44th overall, some offense, baby, Indiana wide receiver Omar Cooper Jr. There with the Cowboys pick. The Caleb Banks pick, of course, was the Colts pick. So this is the haul. So, Drew, please, a quick review of your work. I'm sure you'd give yourself better than a B. So what do you think of this haul? A lot of defense and a pass catcher opposite of Garrett Wilson. Not too shabby.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think the reception of a linebacker or two is going to be not great, and I understand why. The positional value is tough, but like I said, I think Sonny Styles has as much of a shot at anybody as being the best player in this draft class. I don't like to throw blue chip or generational around lightly, but I think that he's the closest of that of a linebacker prospect that we've seen in recent years. Caleb Banks might even tackle one. I think that's absolutely the range I have him in. I think that's a steal to get him to replace Quinnen Williams. He's going to be your pass rushing 3-tech while also being a plus against the run. Very long, very powerful pass rusher. Akeem Mesidor, is going to be another force on the edge to mix in with Jermaine Johnson and with Will McDonald. I think he's another very powerful 5-tech to mix in with those guys, a great run defender. You're kind of revolutionizing your run defense with those first 3 picks for a team that really struggled on defense in 2025. This is kind of just your one size fits all fix. Throw all 3 of these first 3 picks at the wall. Something's going to stick. These guys are going to make your defense overall a lot better. And Omar Cooper, like I said, that's a little bit earlier than I have him in my range. But I think with not picking again until 103, you need to add a receiver next to Garrett Wilson. And I think Omar Cooper was the guy that was next up on that board. You got to reach a little bit there, but you need a receiver to pair with Garrett Wilson for whatever quarterback you bring in to get your top 2 receivers.
That's true. I love it. So there you go. That is the haul, everybody. We'll let you grade the mock. You can either help the, sort of psyche of one Drew Batty on social media with your lovely grades, or not, if you don't care about that sort of thing and you just want to be honest and go all over the place. That's up to you. Out in the audience, we have 400 people in the room. Please make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. We have Drew Batty on here for a few more minutes. So if you have any questions about prospects or anything, feel free to send those in. We'll honor super chats first. Those will skip the queue coming up here on the program. We're only a few weeks out from the NFL Scouting Combine, which will be our next mock draft that we do. Will be the post-combine mock draft. Coming up at the end of February, early March is when we'll do that one again. So you'll have some time here to marinate, Drew, before you have to do another one of these mock drafts and be yelled at by the people out there. What do you take as a draft expert that, you've been studying tape and film and all that all year long? Other people are just doing it for the very first time, so they're sort of becoming familiar with these names. How important is the Scouting Combine to all of your analysis you've done all the way before this point?
Yeah, I mean, the combine is tough because every analyst kind of weighs it differently on their scale. I view it much more like the Senior Bowl, where like I try not to actually change my grades based on anything that happens there. I just use it as kind of a notebook to say, oh, this guy kind of looked better than I remember at the combine or at the Senior Bowl, whatever it was. I should go back and take another look at his tape. To me, I think it's a bit of an overreaction to adjust actual prospect grades based on these all-star games or based on the combine. Because if a guy looks like a good athlete on tape, then he's probably a good athlete. I just think that tape tells the full story. And if a guy doesn't look like a good athlete on tape, but does test well at the combine, it's a reason to revisit the tape, but I don't think it automatically makes him a good athlete. To me, the tape just tells the full story. So again, I use it as a kind of a guideline to see who I should revisit or watch for the first time if I haven't watched them yet. But I try not to overreact to what happens in those type of events and adjust my board and adjust my grades based on if a guy runs a good 40 or not.
So what do you make of, Jet fans are intimately familiar with this term I'm about to bring up, combine warriors. I bring up 2008 all the time. Vernon Goldston, he blew the socks off of all the Jets people. He ran around in T-shirts and shorts. And then they were like, whoa, mama, we need this guy. And then it was an epic failure. But sometimes I've seen people blow up at the combine, and then that immediately translates. Wow, look, this is the person that was running out all over the field in Indianapolis. So you say you try not to let it affect you, but sometimes how can it,
Yeah, I mean, like Nick Worry for the South Carolina safety last year is a perfect example. Right. We saw him last night. He was a huge part of that Seattle defense this year. And he had, potentially one of the best combines ever last year. So for sure. But I think like Worry is another great example because you saw him on tape and he was an elite athlete. And I think that just confirms what you see on tape when you have a guy test out of his world. So, I mean, I think it's hard to not bring in confirmation bias, but it is helpful to kind of back up what you're seeing. If you see a guy who looks like an elite athlete on tape and comes in and does knock the socks off everybody at the combine. But yeah, I mean, for every one of those, there's 14 cautionary tales of guys who blow up the combine because they're a great athlete, but their tape just isn't there. And I think David Bailey is going to be, like I mentioned earlier, the cautionary tale of the underwear Olympics this year, where he's going to come in and measure in crazy long, and he's going to run a 4.4, and everybody's going to fall in love with the frame and the traits. But you turn on the tape, and there are issues there that aren't going to show up at the combine. So again, I think it's a give and take. But I think overall, people really overrate the impact of some of these testing drills.
Who's a prospect that you're high on that other people may not be, but they're going to catch up on him during the process? So like you've already done, the hay is in the barn for you. You've already done the work. A lot of the guys that you like. Who do you think people are going to be like, whoa, have you heard of this guy? And you're like, yeah, I heard about him 7 months ago. Who's this guy that a lot of people are going to catch up on later during the draft process?
Yeah, I mean, if I had to pick two, and I'll stay on the theme of the combine too, because I think both of these guys are really going to shoot up boards after Indianapolis. One of them is Arizona corner Traden Stukes. He played a lot of safety and nickel for them, but I think you could play him at nickel. I think he could also play boundary corner if you wanted him to. I don't think there's anything stopping him from that. He is going to be an elite athlete, 6'2", 200 pounds. I think he's going to run a 4.3. Extremely athletic, very, very long arms, massive wingspan. Really feisty run defender. I think he's awesome in both zone and man. Mirror skills are awesome. The ball skills are like wide receiver level. So I mean, Treating Dukes is still like day 3. I think he's round 5 or round 4 on the consensus board. He is in my top 50. I think he'll be a second round player by the time it's all said and done for me. So he's going to be a guy that shoots up boards. Another receiver who not a lot of people are talking about right now is Mississippi State wide receiver Brendan Thompson. Only 5'9", 170, so the frame is not very enticing, but very well could end up with the fastest 40 time this year. I think he's going to run in the 4.2s. He is probably the fastest player in this older draft class for my money. Kind of a one-trick pony with his deep speed, but I mean, the one trick's really, really good. He is crazy fast, awesome ball tracker downfield. So yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be somebody that comes in as one of the better deep threats out of this draft class. And nobody's really talking about him right now, but I think after he runs a 4.2 at the end of this month, he'll be on people's radar.
Is anyone going to threaten the combine 40 record?
I don't think that anybody's probably going to test Xavier Worthy's record, but if anybody does, I think it'll be either Brendan Thompson or Kevin Coleman out of Missouri.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Well, Drew Batty, I want to thank you so much for joining us here for these every week, for that matter, but specifically for these 2-round mock drafts. They've been a lot of fun. I love learning about more of these draft experts. I love seeing all the lovely things people are saying about you when we post these mock drafts on the internet.
Me too.
That's one of my favorite parts. There's no doubt about it. So, Drew, thank you for stoking the flames, because I think you may get some responses today. I do.
I think I probably will too. Yeah, thank you, Paul. Always a pleasure.
It's an absolute treat, and good luck to your Titans. Our off seasons have now officially begun as we now set up. There's a lot of key important dates that we're going to be talking about, and you're seeing it in the comment section, guys. Thank you so much for all the kind words for Drew. We love doing this every week. Drew, thanks, brother.
Yep, thank you, guys.
There he is, Drew Batty at Iron City Film. If you guys are on the X Machine, Twitter, make sure you guys show your love. Again, we're going to open up the phone lines here in just a minute. Big shout out to Drew. Terrific. Again, we're going to do other scenarios where I allow Drew to trade up, down, left, right. We'll do simulations like that. We're going to do a post-free agency simulation, which I heard you guys talking about earlier, which obviously is very important. Free agency is before the draft. If the Jets go buco crazy in free agency on defense, maybe they go offensive draft, or vice versa. They go offensive free agency, they go defensive draft. So there's going to be a lot of different combinations that we do, which I'm going to be very, very excited about. Again, we have 400 people in the room, which I appreciate. Over 100 of those 400 are on YouTube, baby. So make sure you guys like the video. Hit that like button right there on the YouTube machine. I'd really appreciate it. We only have 37 likes, but over 100 people in the room. Come on, people. Don't be shy. Hit that gosh darn like button. We'd appreciate it here on the program. Also, feel free to make it rain memberships, baby. We have a raffle going on, as we do every single month here on the channel. So make sure you guys get those raffle tickets in. If you're watching here on YouTube, you can hit that little money sign on YouTube. And feel free to gift channel memberships if you'd like. You guys can also get some super stickers going, or super chats if you have questions or comments. Here is our raffle prize for this month, folks. That is a Darrelle Revis jersey. That's a pair of Jet shorts. That's our Boy Green Woody tailgate package. That comes with a T-shirt from our tailgate last year, koozies, bottle openers, all kinds of stuff. And for the first time, I think ever, I don't know if I've ever done this before, I'm grabbing a hat for my personal collection, and I'm putting it in the raffle. For those who don't know, I'm a big Jet hat guy. My entire wall in my hallway right there, where I still have a Sam Darnold fathead, by the way, a Super Bowl Sam Darnold fathead now. So terrific. There's hats from roof to floor, these little hat hooks on the wall, and there's just hats. For the Boy Green Espresso Club, I'll be doing a video and introducing you to all those. There's autographed Jet hats over there. It's a sterling collection that I love. I will pluck a hat off that wall and throw it into this month's raffle as well, as a thank you from me to you out in the audience. Love it. Hey, look at this, baby. Our boy Nanga Iboko with a Boy Green Coffee Club membership gift. Brother, that membership went to Frankie Constantino, who is now a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club. By the way, let me hit this refresh button to make sure I give you guys accurate, up-to-date info. We are 2 subscribers away from 8,360 subscribers every single day. We're climbing closer and closer to 10,000 subscribers. So I Can't wait when we reach that moment and we have that cool celebration here on the show. That is going to mean the world to me. I'm not even going to be sure what to do with my hands, but that's going to be an awesome moment in history when that inevitably happens. And I love getting a chance to grow with all of you guys out in the audience. By the way, Nanga, that is 11 raffle tickets for you, sir, for our contest. Appreciate that as well. Speaking of that real quick, let's just get into the feels before I open up the phone lines here in the program. Let's get into that. There you go. It is now updated. Nanga, you're second place in our contest. I'm just still a little bit in shock about the Super Bowl yesterday. Like, I'm so happy for Sam, man. Oh, that's so awesome. I'm just so happy for Sam Darnold. I'm so happy for all the Jets that are now Super Bowl champions, world champions. I get it, guys. I get it. I would have loved for Sam to do that for us last night. I don't even know what that feeling would have been in my body for the Jets to win the Super Bowl. I know it's going to happen. I know they have won it in the past. I'm not an idiot, but I was not alive to see it. So I'd love nothing more than to see the Jets hoist that trophy. And I know it's going to happen. It's going to happen eventually. I know it. I absolutely know it. And it's going to be amazing. Like, look, I'm gonna throw this up on the screen here. This is old Sam Darnold hoisting up the Lombardi. Oh my goodness gracious! Come on, what a sight is this? A sight for sore eyes. Look at this picture. Look at this. Look at this. Put it up there. Come on, graphic guy in the back. Put this up. Look at that. It is Sam Darnold hoisting. I took this picture last night watching the post show. Look at that. Sam Darnold is a Super Bowl champion. He's hoisting the Lombardi trophy. You know, I play Madden, and I'll tell you that I envision Sam Darnold winning that championship 1,000 times. Not for the Seahawks, for the Jets, but just hoisting the Lombardi at the end of the game and the music. Da, 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 da. Actually, that interpretation of that Super Bowl music was terrible, but I hear it in my head. So hopefully you guys can hear it in your head. I'm just like there's just a Super Bowl theme song as like the trophy is being, brought out and everything. Oh, so cool. This is going to happen for our Jets one day, Jet fans, to sort of like just soak it in. Soak it in. Yeah. Nanga says, hey, someone doctor that photo and put him in Jets gear. I'm sure someone who's very talented with graphic design will be able to do that. Old Yank says, who got MVP? That was Kenneth Walker. He became the first running back Super Bowl MVP since Terrell Davis, TD, in 1998. So cool little nugget there. Shout out. I love Super Bowl history nuggets and things of that nature. So, yeah, Kenneth Walker won the Super Bowl MVP. He's set to be a free agent, actually. It'll be curious to see what Seattle does there. If the Jets decide not to bring back Brees Hall, do they dip their toes in other running back waters? We'll also talk about that too, because one of the next big dates is the franchise tag deadline date, which is just will have a 2-week period in about a week to decide whether or not they're going to slap the franchise tag on. So we'll have shows about that, I'm sure. But again, thank you, Sammy. Thank you. Thank you for conquering the New England Patriots. You prevented Drake May and Mike Vrabel and all the pelvic thrusting in our general direction this offseason. That would have been absolutely nauseating this offseason to have New England win the Super Bowl and hear all that bullshit talk about another dynasty and blah, 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 blah. So suck it, New England. I enjoyed the shit out of you losing. I won't lie. And then you get your teeth kicked down your throat. Felt pretty good, too. It would have been cool for you to be the first team in Super Bowl history to get shut out. That would have been awesome. Apparently, that's never happened before. You get a garbage lame touchdown, at the beginning of the fourth quarter. That would have been great, but it is what it is. I will say this. Good for Sam. Good for Leonard Williams. By the way, here are all the former Jets. I did a YouTube short about it. I also wrote a column about it as well. Here are all the former members of the Jets that are football immortals with the Seattle Seahawks. Some of these guys I have a special place in my heart for, and some of them I don't. But nonetheless, here they are. Sam Darnold, of course. There were 5 Seahawks players who are former Jets in no particular order. Sam Darnold, place kicker Jason Myers, linebacker and special teams ace Chaz Surratt, special teamer Jamarcus Weston, our rookie from this year, as a matter of fact. I didn't even remember he got on Seattle. That just goes to show you. He's on their practice squad. And then, of course, defensive lineman Leonard Williams. And then Sam Darnold, as I mentioned already. Those are the 5 players. There are 3 former Jets coaches who were on Seattle that won the Super Bowl. John Benton, the offensive line coach, Mac Brown, the tight ends coach, and Rick Dennison, run game coordinator and senior offensive advisor. Those 8 individuals, former Jets, now Super Bowl champions forever. That is that. Guys, make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. We're going to open up the phone lines next year on the show. Feel free to call in and get your phone calls in. And again, we'll also be live at 11 o'clock reacting to more of this Super Bowl and all the NFL hijinks and everything else that is set to come. But let's do this. We'll play a quick timeout, and then your phone calls next here on Boy Green Daily.
1, 2, 3. Whoa! Boy Green, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. Everyone, J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. All right. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Let's go!
Shout out to Hep out there in the audience. Shout out to Hep. Congratulations to all the wonderful Jet fans that are at our tailgate this past season. We're doing it again, baby. We're running back, and we're going to do it bigger and better than ever, which I can't wait. It's going to be a terrific, terrific experience. The phone lines are now open. That's a pinned comment on youtube.com/@BoyGreen25. If you'd like to call in, if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, that is the way to get involved in the program. Without further ado, let's go to the phone lines. Let's start off with Mr. Famous Fulton.
Morning, Paul.
Okay, it sounds like you have a pep in your step, Mr. Famous Fulton.
Yes, I did. I got something for you.
Oh, okay, great. Let's go full screen. What do we got? Hey, give us the results, Mr. Famous Fulton.
Yeah. So the first one is the first. Sorry about that. We were supposed to play the Red Devils yesterday, but the team forfeited, so we won that game.
Wow.
And we lost our second game against the Clayton County, which is 31 to 15 for our Chargers. And we got in second place, and we're going to be in sectionals.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. Can you show us that medal one more time?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, that's terrific. Congratulations, Mr. Famous.
And I just sent you a video on email for you.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, is it the highlight package? Have you
Yes,
done
it
on
is.
people or something?
Yes, it is.
Oh, cool. Oh, wow. All right. Great. I don't know. We'll see if we can find a way to get that on the screen.
Yeah. I did make a basket this time yesterday.
Oh, nice. Did he dunk on somebody?
Yeah, I made it into the basketball goal and probably made a dunk.
Okay, great. All right, I am attempting to download whatever this video is, so we'll see if we could get it on the show. Before we hang up, before we depart. I hope I can download that live here on the show. If I could get that for you, pal. But Mr. Famous Fulton, how'd your teammates do and everything? Do they do well too?
Yeah, they did. Yes, they all got in second place. So we're gonna try to win another game this Sunday at Delaware County. So we got that game coming up. So if we win that game, we'll win the gold and probably go to state.
Whoa. So sectionals are a week from today, or not a week from today. They're this upcoming weekend?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck. All right. My computer's having trouble downloading this. So if it downloads before the end of the show, I'll definitely play it for you, Mr. Famous Fulton. All right?
Sounds great. And I guess I made Well, let's see. I did like a lot of defense and a lot of passing, and I stood the ball
Mm-hmm.
this time,
Nice.
and no three throws, but I did pretty well, and like LeBron James or something.
I love it. Well, thank you for being the LeBron.
Yep. What'd you think of the Super Bowl last night, Paul?
What did I think of it? Delicious. That's what I thought of it. Tasty.
Delicious, huh?
Oh, the Patriot fans' tears, the whining, the complaining. It was beautiful. It was absolutely delicious.
Yeah,
I
I'm
thought my
happy for.
fiance did a
I'm happy
wonderful
for
job,
them.
which again, a shout out to my fiance. She made a beautiful Super Bowl spread that had pretzel chicken, which was chicken encrusted in pretzels.
Oh.
She had meatballs. She had like a mozzarella deep fried pepperoni sticks that she made. I mean, oh my gosh. Oh, all of it was delicious, but almost not as delicious as watching the Patriots get blown out in the Super Bowl. Because
Oh
here's the
my.
thing. I have not said this on the show, but Mike Tirico mentioned it. Getting to the Super Bowl is hard. Spoiler alert. And Dan Marino went his second year and he said, "Oh boy, this is going to be great. I'm going to be back." He never came back. So let's just hope that Drake May never goes back. That's my long story short.
Yep. But I'm glad your Seahawks just won. So.
Go Hawks. Yeah.
And they said on the Super Bowl commercial they're going to Disneyland today.
Oh, that's great. Oh, phenomenal.
Yep.
Then they're going to do the Seattle parade, I imagine, here very shortly. So that'll be
Do you
marvelous.
know when that's going to be? Do they know?
So let's see. What's today? Oh, Monday, obviously. So yeah, because we had Super Bowl Sunday. So let's see, Monday if they're doing the Disney stuff. I mean, I guess it could be. They could just go to Disney for a couple days, I guess, and then it's on Wednesday or Thursday of this week, maybe. But if they can't set it up that quick, I guess it'll be next week. But my full anticipation, I guess, will be later this week.
Yeah. Hopefully they will do that. So.
All right. Well, Mr. Famous Fulton, thanks for checking in and congratulations on the silver medal, my friend.
I appreciate it. We'll let you know if we win any more games.
Please do. I'm sure you will, LeBron James. I'm sure you will. There you go. Mr. Famous Fulton joining us here on the program. Beta.
G-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, G-E-T-S, Jets, Jets.
Salute to Mr. Famous Fulton here on the program. Wow. Speaking of wows, good Lord. Okay. Number one Austrian Jet fan with a super chat prize of epic proportions here. Let's play the music. Zariah Luna, go.
Wow.
Our number one Austrian Jets fan just donated a $10 Euro super chat, which for those counting at home, my conversion rate, beep, boop, bop, that is 4 raffle tickets for Indy Jets, baby. Raffles and blessings to the legend Indy. That is very sweet of you. And thank you to everyone that has done this. Austrian Jet fan, I saw Chef Kev did it, this week as well. That's a very cool gesture, everybody. Very cool gesture. So thank you. That is now 7 raffle tickets for Uncle Indy here. Again, we're always thinking about you, buddy. I get your messages and updates privately on Discord, and I could just give you guys a message for Indy that all your guys' thoughts and everything have meant the world to him. He loves it when he gets to watch the show. It's inspiring to him to see his fellow coffee club members doing stuff. Obviously, this is a very moving thing here for Austrian and Chef Kev that also did this earlier this week. I'd love nothing more. Again, I don't control it. It's random. It's up to the gods, but I'd love nothing more than to deliver one of these raffle prizes to Uncle Indy here in the near future. So hopefully it's this month, aka the 1st of March. I would love nothing more than to do that, to hopefully raise the spirit and love for one Indy Jet. So Austrian, thank you from the bottom of my heart. That's a very sweet gesture. And yes, you guys are allowed to donate raffle tickets to whoever you please. And there you go. So all love sent out to him. Thank you, Austrian Jets fan, for that. Because again, we're all family here. All right, let's go back to the phone lines here. The legendary Hep graces us with his presence. Hep, good morning.
Hey Paul, hey fellas. Did we ever find out? I know Indy went in for that that test to see how he's doing. Did we ever find out any information on that?
I'm not sure what he shared publicly, but I'll tell you this: there was some good news and some bad news. So it was sort of a mixed bag. There was some
Okay,
good news that makes you feel okay, but there was some.
he's still
I don't
fighting.
know if concerning is too aggressive of a word, but there was geez, that update we wish would have been a little bit better. So it was a little hit and miss, but his spirits were up enough that obviously he
Okay.
could reach out to me and share about it. And again, he just reiterated that all of the love that you guys have been sending here on the show has meant the world to him. So thank you to everyone, whether it's been financially or just on the show. It's meant a lot to him. So appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I think about him all the time. I know it must be really scary for the guy, and it's a hell of a
100%.
thing. And
Yes.
and congratulations for Mr. Famous Fulton on the silver medal.
Wow.
And
Unbelievable. Very nice work. Yeah.
that's right. I think the Celtics might be looking for a player, so maybe
Ah,
you should put a resume out there. You never know. And
please
also,
do.
I,
Yes, Mr.
I
Famous
I saw
Fulton.
your spread on Facebook yesterday. It looked pretty good.
Oh my goodness. Like it surprised me because most of the time we go somewhere for a Super Bowl party, a friend's house, this, that, or the other, but this year it just didn't all line up. And so she took it on herself. I didn't even know she was doing it. She just said, "Hey, can you watch your kids for a while?" I said, "Oh, sure, of course. I'm the father. I don't mind doing that." And then I just like sort of smelled it. I'm like, "Whoa, what's
Ooh.
going on over there?" And she made things that she has never made before. She's made things that I love, and oh
Oh,
my goodness, and,
so
and
she
she went
made all that from
overboard.
scratch. She made that stuff from
Yeah,
scratch. Wow.
100%. And I was like,
Oh.
wow. So she did a marvelous job, and shout out to her. And I
Yeah,
said, you know
that's
what? I'm
great.
glad no one came because great, more leftovers for us. Sweet. This was delicious. So she did a killer job, absolutely
Oh,
killer
that's
job.
great. Now, as far as the game is concerned, I thought
Mm-hmm.
that obviously New England was outmatched. They had the other
Mm-hmm.
team, the Seattle had the better players. However, I thought that coaching was they did a really good job coaching New England. I think they played over their heads, and they were just going up against a machine that was too strong for them. What did you think of that?
Yeah, to be honest, and I felt pretty strongly about this throughout the postseason that the Super Bowl, while we all just watched the Super Bowl on Sunday, the real Super Bowl happened in the NFC. I
Yeah,
felt
yeah,
like out of a lot of the contenders there in the NFC, that was whoever won these games, like when it was the Rams and the Seahawks. I
sure.
thought whoever won that was the Super Bowl. Whoever that team was going to kick the ass of whoever came out of the AFC. With all due respect to the AFC, um, and that's sort of how it played out for me. New England was outmatched in every form and facet, and I enjoyed every single second of it. So screw the Patriots, screw New England, their
Yeah,
cupcakes off schedule, and hopefully, like I said, if you really think about it, like this year for New England, there's no Kansas City, there's no Cincinnati, there's no Baltimore. Like
that's right.
this was if they were ever going to sneak one in, it seemed
This is
like
it.
the path to happen, and it didn't. And I'm like, oh, thank God, because Mahomes is eventually going to come back. We'll see if it's as quickly as next season, and then all of a sudden, I feel much better about the competition level that New England will continue to face moving forward. It makes me think that, oh, thank God that they didn't get this one in because Super Bowls are forever. Like, man, I'll tell you what I'd do to get a Jets Super Bowl for God's sake. So, like, if you get a chance to get a Super Bowl, like, who cares the path or anything? Like, we're
Sure.
making fun of New England because, like, it's funny to make fun of New England. But if the Jets had that path, they won a Super Bowl. I don't get. Yeah, everyone could yell anything they want. I wouldn't care. I'd be like, la la la, I'm Super Bowl champion. So,
Sure.
yeah, that'd be great.
Oh well, it's who got the MVP? Was it Sam Darnold?
No, Kenneth Walker, who had
Yeah,
like
that's what I
150
thought.
yards rushing. Yeah, and a cool stat that I heard, and I love these Super Bowl stats. He's the first running back to win Super Bowl MVP since Terrell Davis back in 1998. So awesome to have that history after like 20 years. So
Yeah,
big ups to Kenneth Walker, who is set to be a free agent, as a matter of fact, in about a month. So yeah, he just made
and
himself some serious money.
and good props to the running back room because if running backs keep getting this bad,
Hmm.
but you just see it all the time. If you don't have a good running back, I mean, you could do the committee thing, but I don't know. I think we need a good quarter. We need a good running back, and I don't know. I don't think Brees is coming back, and there's no running backs in this draft. I'm a little nervous about that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think if someone asked me the question, "Hey, Paul, what lessons did you learn from the Super Bowl?" Well, obviously, defense still wins championships. Look how suffocating
Oh my God,
the defense was. I mean, just from Seattle. I mean, New England, their flame was just extinguished for 99% of the game outside of that touchdown late, where you're like, man, they just dominate. So defense could still win championships. And then on the other side, to your point, a running back like Kenneth Walker, he was so patient. It was like
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell level
Yeah,
patience
right.
of just
Yeah.
like whoop 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 whoop. Up there's all
There it is.
boom, and
Boop.
I'm like, oh my goodness gracious! So spectacular. Which again, that's a great combination. A lot of our great Jets history includes great defense and good running games. So yeah, the message is clear.
All right, guys. See you on the rebound.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Hep, for joining us here on the program. Very nice. A lot of lessons learned for sure. Again, 400 people in the room. Make sure you guys like the video. Hit subscribe. Let's go back to the phone lines. Kyle Clifton here.
Good morning, BJ.
Yeah, what's up, man?
So, kind of lost in the shuffle. The big cat, Leonard Williams, another one of our guys.
100%. 100%. Yeah. A shout out, by the way, when I was in radio, here in Syracuse, people, of course, knew I was a Jets fan, and there was a random caller. His name is Big Al, and I did a charity mini golf event, and he just showed up with a gift. It was, I don't know, 10 years ago maybe or something, and he said, here you go, and I opened it up, and it's an autographed Leonard Williams football, which still sits on that mantle up there. And I told my fiance when Big Cat and Sam Darnold embraced after winning the Super Bowl, they're wearing Super Bowl hats, they have confetti on their shoulders. I was just like, damn, man, those are two former first-round picks. That's just so cool that these guys are, and USC guys, of course, too, but they're just there. Yeah, but you're right, totally. Not enough people are everyone's Sam, and for, I get it, quarterback, all this other stuff. Jason Myers, right, he breaks a Super Bowl record for field goals, but Big Cat, Leonard Williams, baby, man, what a journey it's been for him.
And a late career renaissance. He's made the Pro Bowl last 2 years, averaged 9 sacks on the interior over the last 2 years. He's now a 3-time Pro Bowler and a Super Bowl champion. I just wanted to give kind of a quick nod because he's had a pretty good career. He had a career high 11.5 sacks with the Giants when he was there. And got snubbed for the Pro Bowl. So this is quite a career that Leonard Williams is kind of built.
And Buco Bucks, I mean, I understand it's playing football in 2026, but he's made really great money. He's gotten paid handsomely several times. Obviously, I'm sure this will only help. Super Bowl championship, which is forever. Like, man, what a career for Leonard, because I remember our criticisms back in Jetsland. Man, this guy just gets pressures. Where are the sacks? And we hit the eject button because we had to make all these pay decisions on defensive linemen, and another one that certainly deserves flowers. So what a marvelous career.
Yep. That's I basically wanted to talk about Leonard, but the other thing is going back from 16 or from 2, if it presents itself, is attractive if we're talking about staying in the top 20. Like if we were to trade from 2 to 7 or 8 or 9, or from 16 to 18, if someone wanted to make sure they got their guy to pick up an extra pick, that makes total sense to me, because I think this is a 20-player draft, and we just need to take down the best players out there. And we have so many holes that we can comfortably do that. If that means that, instead of at 16, we're taking, Ty Simpson at 20 right in front of the Steelers, that might make sense. There are increasing whispers that, there might be elements in the Jets organization that like Simpson. So,
Interesting.
But let's see. I'm not sure I'm too comfortable taking him. If you like him, you like him.
Yeah, of course.
Organization. If you're a talent evaluator, which I am not.
Yeah, right.
But as far as value goes, I would really like to take down a couple of extra picks, and maybe still get them, which would be ideal. I appreciate your time, BJ.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Kyle Clifton, for joining us here on the show. Again, I love the love for Big Cat, Leonard Williams. I love the Big Cat nickname, by the way, coming back for our guy Sean Ellis, Big Cat as well. But yeah, Leonard, man, I'm really happy for Leonard. He has turned into an unbelievable disruptive force, pressures, sacks, domination. Again, money, Pro Bowls, attention. The dark side is apparently what they call this new Seattle defense. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Jet Jaro says Sam didn't play well. That team is deep in talent. I don't know if I would say that, man. I know box score watchers are going to say Sam Darnold didn't play well. Man, he played tough, man. He fit some balls in some tight windows. He had some really nice throws. He obviously, made sure he didn't turn the ball over. He didn't turn the ball over this entire postseason. So it was a spectacular run for Darnold. So sure, did he have 500 yards and 4 touchdowns? No, he did not. But I thought actually Sam did play well. I get the completion percentage is off for sure. It's not a sexy number, but I thought Sam did play very well. My holy king saying Sam deserved that trophy. He absolutely did. He absolutely did. Yes. Envelope. When does AG get back from Bora Bora? I'll let you know when I know that. Yeah. I'll let you know. Jet Jaro. BG, why do you like ex-Jets players so much? I hate anybody who's not a Jet. I think it depends for me. It's sort of case by case. I guess like anything in life, right? You don't sort of have an overarching take on a subject matter. But why do I like ex-Jets? So like Sam Darnold. I'll go through the ex-Jets that are on the Seahawks. Sam Darnold. To me, I believe the Jets organization failed Sam Darnold more than Sam Darnold failed the Jets in the simplest form. Joe Douglas promised protection and playmakers, and he didn't deliver on his promise. So I think that's the biggest thing for me on Sam. And Sam gets traded. We got a great haul for Sam, a 2, a 4, and a 6. And he bounced around the league and then he wins it. So Sam, it's easy to love Sam. And he's never said a bad word about the organization. He's had a million chances to dunk on the Jets. You say, to give him a joke, to give him a rib. There have been times he's been at award shows over the last couple of years and he hasn't been a member of the Jets. They crack a Jets joke and the camera goes to him and he doesn't laugh. He just sort of is disappointed. Like, hey, basically don't put me on bleeping camera. Like, no, that's stupid. So Jet jokes he doesn't play around in. He's never said a bad word about the organization. That makes it very easy to love him. Leonard, while it was disappointing that, again, we had a lot of the pressures here in New York, but we didn't get the sacks. That part's disappointing that he wasn't here, but we trade him also for a good haul, multiple picks, and then we move on in a different direction. So, but there's some for instance, Aaron Rodgers. When he was here, I loved him. I was excitable. If you look at one of my old intros as my crazy reaction on the Pat McAfee show when he came here, and he was great while he was here in my mind, and then when he leaves and starts trashing the Jets and cracking all these jokes and all that stuff, that's where I'm like, okay, yeah, you sort of sour on me as an ex-Jet. I'm trying to think of other examples of just Jets. I hate their guts. Maybe you guys will just throw names out there, and I'm just gonna be like, oh yeah, I definitely hate that guy. But like it again, it's case by case, like anything. And you pair all this together, the Seahawks were playing against the Patriots. So, Patriot guys, right? I loved Morgan Moses when he was here, but I didn't want the Patriots to win the Super Bowl. Hell no. No, thank you. Leonard Taylor III, I love LT3. Hell no, I'm not rooting for you to win the Super Bowl, buddy. Heck no. So it just depends. It's case by case. Mekhi Becton, that's a great example. Yeah, like Mekhi Becton, hell no. He blames other people. I loved him at first. I love all Jets. I embrace them all, and then information is provided. I'm like, oh boy. So So for instance, Mekhi Becton, hell no. Not a fan favorite of mine. Definitely not. Taylor Sterling says, my wife knows nothing about who these people are. She saw Mike Vrabel and said, what a douche. There you go. Yeah, again, I took great pleasure in the Patriots' downfall in the Super Bowl as Mike Vrabel's laughing as they're trying to run up the score on the Jets and do all this other shit. I'm like, okay. Hey, defense got to stop them. I'm not complaining about, if you want to run up the score and do all these other things, I have nothing to say. If we want to stop them, we got to stop them. But I'm just, the North remembers, pal. The North remembers. That's true as well. How about them Jets? 5092 says Sam is a great character person. How could Jet fans not like him? Yeah, listen to him after the Super Bowl. The first people he thanks are his parents for always believing in him, and their belief in him allowed Sam Darnold to believe in himself. And he knew no matter how shitty things got, he had this unbelievable, unwavering faith in himself that he was going to be a starting quarterback, that he was going to win Super Bowl, and he was going to do all these things. So, yeah, it's easy to love Sam. Not a lot of explanation needed. Go through a bunch of your comments here before we wrap up the show. Yo Home says, Jarl BG loves deeply every single person who's ever wore a Jets jersey ever. You should know that by now. That's not true, but I do when they're here. I try to embrace every player that wears the green and white. I'm a Jets fan. I want them all to do well, but no. If you've worn a Jets uniform, that does not guarantee love from me forever, unfortunately. We mentioned Mekhi Becton, Aaron Rodgers, I'm not the fondest of right now. Maybe I'll feel differently when he's going to the Hall of Fame in a couple of years, but it sounds like he's going to return to the Steelers by all the reporting and join up with Mike McCarthy. I'm not sure how I feel about that man right now. Devontae Adams, total dick. Jet. And they cracks all these jokes about the Jets. Screw you, Devontae Adams, you bastard. So, no, I don't have infinite love for every player that's ever worn a Jets uniform, but hey, that's part of being a fan, I guess. Johnny Boy, execute order 66. Excellent. Lightsaber on, you Patriot bastards. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, for sure. He played to win the game. Yes, that's right. Sam deserved that trophy. I agree. Shout out to Leonard Williams. Sure. Yep. A teams could trade up in the draft. That's totally possible. My Holy King says Sam can repeat. Yeah, we'll see. Seattle's got a really good team, and I think they're going to rework Sam's contract because they sort of tepidly gave him a 3-year deal for $100 million, but it really was a 1-year deal with all this other money. So there you go. Oh, Alon has entered the chat. Darnold was very mid. Okay, Alon. Never giving credit where it's due. Why am I surprised? Alon, very quiet after his buddy. You want to know who is very mid? Drake May. He freaking sucked. He missed so many throws. Overrated. Yeah, where was that, Alon? Where was your analysis of Drake May, huh? Nangi Boko says, what letter grade would I give Leonard Williams as a Jet? All right, well, let me make sure I didn't forget any numbers here. I don't remember him having a ton of success, statistically speaking. I think he maybe had like 5 sacks in a season, maybe. That's probably it. And that's true. Yeah, the most he's ever had. Well, that's a lie. He had a 7-sack season. No, let me not disrespect the man. But, yeah, his 4.5 seasons with the Jets. 3 sacks, 7 sacks, 2 sacks, 5 sacks. So he didn't have a sack with the Jets before he was traded to the Giants. Yeah, probably for a top 5 pick, like B minus. I guess you have it right there. That's where I would have been. C plus feels a little insulting, but like C plus B minus range. Obviously he's exploded into a completely different player in the tail end of Giants, and then obviously with Seahawks. But probably C plus B minus again for a top 10 pick. There are top 10 picks that flame out. So for a top 10 pick to have some decent success. He didn't live up to the 6 overall pick, so it's not an A or even a B plus or anything, but he was a decent player. He's a starter. For the Jets. I'm not trying to insult what he's done for Seattle, but yeah, no, I'd probably be in that range. C plus, B minus, maybe. You could convince me to a B minus, probably. Yeah, Mad Mertz, Gonzo is a stud. Yeah, Christian Gonzalez was one of the best players in that game. The Seahawks would have blown out the Patriots by even more if Gonzalez suddenly wasn't on the field. Oh, dear Lord. Sam Darnold threw a freaking perfect pass to Rashid Shaheed. Deep ball down the field, and Christian just got a hand in and knocked it away. Sam Darnold had a touchdown to Jackson Smith and Jigba. Christian Gonzalez jumped in front of it. So many plays. The Patriots have a good one at corner for sure. And Christian Gonzalez, he was a freak, absolute freak. That Rusty Spooner says Jason Myers should have won Super Bowl MVP. He wasn't even on the ballot apparently, which It's unfortunate. Yeah, he broke the Super Bowl record for field goals. Some special teams love, for God's sakes. You'd love to see it. Ricky New York Live says, BG, your shirt should arrive today. Can't wait to support Ricky New York Live. Great. Thank you, Ricky, for sending that along. Thank you, sir. I got DT's. I got yours. A few people have sent me the shirts. I love representing them on the show and fellow Jets content creators. So, yes. Yes, as Dan Hollis says, BG is Puerto Rican. Facts. Yes, sir. Yeah, everyone has a take on everything. I thought I know a lot of people don't speak Spanish, so probably the Super Bowl halftime show may not have done a lot for the people that don't speak Spanish, but hopefully there's a lot of other stuff like the dancing and the sort of the music, not even thinking about the lyrics. But that is true. My mother is Puerto Rican. I am Puerto Rican. And yeah, so there you go. But again, people, you guys can enjoy whatever you want to enjoy. Again, I try to make this show about sports. And that's what I try to do. I try to root for the green team, and I want my green team to win the Super Bowl. So if you guys have other takes, that's cool. I'm not going to yell at you for having a different take or a different taste in music or whatever you want to have. That's all up to you guys in the universe. I ain't got any issues with that at all. So enjoy. Dan, the Jets fan, 21. Let's get a super chat in here.
Wow.
Member for 9 months. Thank you, Dan, the Jets fan 21. I like Devontae. Saw my jersey in Miami last year. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Again, whatever my take is doesn't have to be everyone's take. Just because I don't like him doesn't mean everyone has to hate him. You guys can all have different opinions. But I just, he got traded here, and I was excited. I'm like, holy shit, that's Devontae Adams. I thought he was going to help Garrett a lot more than he did. Unfortunately, he didn't. Devontae and Aaron Rodgers had this weird love fest, and Garrett Wilson was like the third wheel at the table and was feeling uncomfortable about it, I'm sure. So that was awkward for Garrett, I'm sure. And then he's been talking shit about the Jets since he left. So I don't love when players do that. That seems very fake to me, that you pretend while you're on the team, then as soon as you leave, you're like, yeah, that got him away from that dumpster fire. I just think that's really shitty. But like I said, different strokes, different folks, personally. But yeah, that sort of bothers me when people are fake. I prefer genuineness. I prefer, I don't know. I just prefer authenticity, personally. But, different strokes. Craig Mechanic says, I've never even watched a halftime show ever. I don't care who's performing. I grab more wings, food, and join at the half. There you go. It's funny. My fiance was like, hey, let me know when the commercials are back on, because that's what she was there for, which, hey, respect. There you go. NC Green says, can't give an MVP to a losing player. As a matter of fact, there has been one occasion where a Super Bowl MVP has gone to a losing team. That has happened once before. That was none other than Chuck Howley, who won Super Bowl MVP. He is the only player to win a Super Bowl MVP on a losing team. That is, in fact, true. He was the MVP of Super Bowl V, the only player on a losing team to receive said award. So I don't believe there's a reason for it. But think about it. Why I don't think it's ever going to happen again. You talk about records and things that will never be broken. Like, think about this in today's day and age, right? So they're all on the Super Bowl set. They're playing the trumpets. Oh, Sam Darnold, you're a Super Bowl champion. Woo! And oh yeah, Ramondre Stevenson of the Patriots, you're the MVP. Like, it'd just be weird. You guys are all on stage, and then he's like crying after losing the Super Bowl. You're like, here's the Super Bowl MVP trophy. Here's a new car. Like, the aesthetics, the awkwardness, all of it. I don't believe there's a rule that says you can't, because, like I said, Chuck Howley, Super Bowl V, Dallas Cowboys, that did indeed happen. But I just think from the awkwardness, that probably will never happen again. So that's one of those stats that will probably live on forever, probably. So, yeah. So, but anywho, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, an interesting little fun fact. That is for your future trivia night. Remember, Chuck Howley is the only player who won a Super Bowl MVP on a losing team. So there you have it. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Also, a lot of comments are flowing in. Keep those comments flowing in, which is totally okay. We have 500 people now in the room, including 126 of those 500 watching on YouTube. Hit that like button, baby. Come on now. Spread the love of all things Boy Green Daily here on the program. Phone lines are open. That's youtube.com/@boygreen25, baby. And like I said, we're 2 subscribers away from 8,360. So make sure you help push us over the top. Let's go to Jets Worldwide's Johnny Boy here on the program. Johnny?
BG, good morning.
What's up, man?
Hey, fuck the Patriots. Seeing
damn straight.
Rabel's smug ass face, all like didn't know what to do, and his mouth was constantly wide open. It was amazing. Good for him. Hope he liked that. He liked that Seattle ass whooping that he got. But I was calling in because I wanted to talk to you about the Jets. All right.
Okay. It's a good show to do that.
Yes. It really is. And if you guys have not hit the like or hit the sub, what are you doing? As soon as the Super Bowl ends, the Jets social media team puts out a Jets picture that says the season starts right now. As soon as you see Sam Darnold, right, start to lift the Lombardi trophy.
Yeah.
If that wasn't the biggest hit in the nuts right then and there, I was just like, holy crap, man. I was like, and for people that are saying about Sam Darnold, look, man, good for the kid. He deserves it. He's worked his tail off. When a lot of people were saying to him, you're trash, you're not this, he never wavered. He never let any of that noise come in his circle. He knew what he needed to do, and he's a Super Bowl champion, man. He's never shitted on the New York Jets. So how can you not root for that individual to do something? I mean, yeah, he is the op now, right? Because he doesn't wear a jet, but doesn't mean that I can't or want to root for him to win over the Patriots. So that was my whole combo. But did you see that with the Jets social media team and what they did? Like, do they not get it?
Well, wait. Again, I am all for Jets being held accountable. We should do that on this show. When stupid things happen, we should hold them accountable. That's what it's all about. But, everyone let's put Seattle and New England aside, I suppose. That leaves 30 teams in the NFL, 32 teams in the NFL. Let's put the 2 Super Bowl participants aside, which probably didn't do this. The other 30 teams in the NFL all were waiting in the drafts with their tweets of the season starts now. Now it's for real. The old season, 2025, is officially over. Now we're on to 2026. So the Jets didn't do anything different than anyone else did. While I understand how that could bother some people and like tone deaf, because, think about the last couple of Super Bowls, right? The last 3 Super Bowls. Mecole Hardman, former Jet, catches the Super Bowl winning touchdown catch, and the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. The Jets immediately send that out, and people are like, tone deaf, you guys are idiots. Not this Super Bowl that just happened, the one before. Mekhi Becton wins the Super Bowl. Woo, Mekhi Becton wins the Super Bowl. The Jets are like, yeah, offseason starts out. People are like, you bastards, come on, read the room. And then this year, Sam Darnold. And then boom, again. So, like, all these former Jets apparently just win the Super Bowl every year. So I get it. I get how some people see how it's interpreted. But again, if you look at all the other, and I follow every official NFL team account, they all do this. It's their thing. We don't have to like it, but everyone was doing it. All the cool kids were jumping off the bridge.
Yeah, but if somebody's telling me to jump off the bridge, I'm not going to do it. Could have waited till today to say.
They could have.
And the season begins now. The heartache for the Jets fan. Dude, it was cool seeing Adam Sandler there, and he was.
Oh,
he said,
can we address that real quick? Okay. So
there's context to it.
There is.
Bunny are real tight, but they did an interview and he said, "I can't wait for my New York Jets to be in the Super Bowl next year." I don't know if you saw that.
I did, but the clip that people are resharing is from a year ago. So so that was from 2025 where he said, "I can't wait for New York Jets to be in the Super Bowl." Maybe there was another interview I missed, but here's the only thing. If I'm Adam Sandler, I'm pissed off at Mike Tirico because I'm just watching the Super Bowl, enjoying my life. And they're showing, look at this celebrity, this celebrity, this celebrity. And I see Adam Sandler. At first, I see a hat that's a Patriot logo on it, but his head's turned, so I only see the Patriot logo. I'm like, what the fuck? And then Mike Tirico says on air, and yes, Adam Sandler supporting the Patriots as usual. And I'm like, do I live in some sort of fucking bizarro world? As usual? Since when? He's a Jets fan, man. And apparently people have since taken pictures and showed that there was a Patriot logo, but if it would have turned his head, there was a Seattle logo. He was wearing a Super Bowl hat and all that. But I was watching Super Bowl like, what the F? And then I'm like, as usual, Tirico, what a blunder by old Mike Tirico there. So if I'm Adam Sandler, I'm pissed at Tirico because, again, it was on both sides of the hat. But what the fuck? So, yeah, that was upsetting. I was like, what in the world?
Yeah, like I said again, man, it's super easy to just crap on the New York Jets at any chance that they can. They do it. Look, man.
Hey, let me ask you about this because I see this from Alon immediately. He says, I laugh at Jet fans laughing at Patriots last night. Makes me scratch my head. Alon, what is so hard to understand? The Patriots are a division rival. They reached the Super Bowl. Every Jets fan in the universe should, we have a super chat about this in a second. I see you, Armani, but every Jets fan in the universe should hope the Patriots lose and hopefully in blowout fashion. What is scratching your head about a division rival losing? If the Bills were in this position, fuck the Bills. If the Dolphins were in this position, they wouldn't be because they've won a fucking playoff game in a quarter of a century. But if somehow they were here, fuck them too. What's so hard? What's scratching the head? It's very simple. I am a fan of every other team in the league that plays against us if we're in the Super Bowl, not named the Jets. Come on, man. Gosh darn it, Alani. Try to poke and press my damn buttons. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Come on, man.
Hey, man, because he's gonna get a reaction out of everybody.
I guess that works. If that's what he's looking for, mission accomplished, I guess.
The dude had the Super Bowl hat, and when he said the thing about the Jets, he had the Super Bowl hat on still. So I'm talking about Adam Sandler. So
yeah, right.
But yeah, man, like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Maybe it's me, right? Like, I just don't know why the Jets did that, man. Like, yo, just wait. Like, wait till tomorrow to do that and put it out. Like, let them cats just, enjoy what they've done and everything. So, but now it's full blown. Let's get ready for the free agency. I think that's where I'm at right now. Who are some of the free agents that you would want?
There's several that I want. We're going to do an off-season prediction show where I say, hey, I want to sign these 3 guys, these 4 guys, trade for this, do all this. So we'll do that episode for sure. But one of the top free agents I want is Tyler Linderbaum. And I know that pisses off a lot of Jet fans because, hey, center's not a big need. And I'm like, I don't know, man. He's one of the best players that's available. And I want to pay money to things that I know. I want safety. I want to invest in things that I feel good about. And Tyler Linderbaum, I feel good about that. He's a friggin' great player. And it would be a significant upgrade in the room. It could be the final infinity stone to the Jets offensive line to having Olu Muiwa, whoever's left guard. Again, we can figure that out. Simpson ABT. We'll debate that to the high heavens. Center Linderbaum, right guard Joe Chipman, right tackle Armand Membu, and then Josh Myers is your 6th man off the bench. I feel phenomenal about that offensive line. And I think you have to play the game as it is. And what I mean by that is your biggest needs could be quarterback, wide receiver, and edge rusher. But if that's not the best player in free agency, you can't force a square peg into a round hole. You can't say, I got $50 million. I was going to use it on one of our top needs. So give me the 17th receiver. I'll take that. You can have my $50 million. No, you should invest your resources in the best possible players. Now, if what's a good example? A quarterback, right? So let's say the best available player in free agency was a quarterback and the Jets had Patrick Mahomes. No, I'm not saying to sign that quarterback and you have 2 quarterbacks, only one of them can play. That's stupid. So there's exceptions, of course, to the rule. But for the most part, if there's a chance to improve and upgrade, you should upgrade the team. So Tyler Linderbaum is high on my list. I love Devin Lloyd. He's the Jacksonville Jaguars linebacker. He's a do-it-all man. I think the Jets, quite frankly, sucked at the second level of their defense last year. He is high on my list. And I'll throw a random one. Odafe Owe, formerly the Baltimore Ravens, got traded to the LA Chargers. He's a pass rusher. I'd invest in pass rushers. There's a bunch of them that are 27 years of age that are going to hit free agency. So Odafe Owe would be on my list. But yeah, there's a lot of different directions to go.
Yeah. Does Linderbaum make the team good, like right then and there?
The Jets? No,
Right.
he doesn't make him good. He makes him great.
Is he a good locker room dude?
By all accounts, yes.
Another leader in there. So for people to say you don't want him, so we get to, you know what I'm saying? Because we've had such great players in the at that position, right? Like,
yeah.
Look, if you could get them and it makes sense, and they have just do it, and then you don't have to worry about that, and then you could use essentially that draft pick that you were going to get a center in the draft for something else, another piece of it. I like Blankenship that's coming out.
Oh, sure. Reed
right?
out of Philadelphia. Yep. Reed Blankenship. Yep.
So that's another one. I don't know, man. I can't wait. I'm excited for free agency, see what they're going to do. I think that's what's going to tell what kind of move they're going to maybe go into to the draft with. So, But look, Patriots lost. The Patriots lost. And the fucking Patriots lost. It was great. I was happy. Mayday. That dude was screaming Mayday all day yesterday. So shout out to Sammy D on winning his chip, man. And cool that he shouted out his parents. That being said, JETS, Jets. Hell yeah, let's go Jets.
There he is, Johnny Boy of Jets Worldwide, joining us here on the program. And let's get into this immediately because that's a super chat coming in.
Wow.
Thank you to Armani AD with a $10 super chat, baby. That's what I'm talking about, Armani. Thanks for supporting the show. BG, appreciate all that you do. 2 thumbs down to some of the Jets content creators that were secretly rooting for the Patriots to continue the narrative of how great Vrabel is. I think that's the thing we haven't talked about, which is the thing that people just like dunking on the Jets so much that they want certain things to happen to reinforce a belief that they already had. Like, there are a lot of people that wanted Mike Vrabel. And I'll be honest, I was intrigued by Mike Vrabel last year when we hired Aaron Glenn. I was intrigued, of course. But we didn't get him. So, all right. But if I believe something and then new information presents itself, I don't just say, see, I was right, or I go back to this. If new information presents itself, it's to change. And narratives being forced because of this, that, or the other. Like, I just, Armani, I think it's bad. I can't believe because someone told me that it did happen, but that Jet people would be rooting for Patriots. I just, outside of Alon, and consider him for whatever you will, of Patriot humper over there, like, it just doesn't make any sense. I'm perplexed. It doesn't make sense to me. Of course, I want to root against the Patriots, the Bills, the Dolphins. Screw those guys. I want to win the Super Bowl as a Jets fan. And if I can't, screw the rest of my division. Anyone else in the universe can win. When the Giants played the Patriots, you want to know how quickly I thought about who I was rooting for? Nanoseconds. The Giants, obviously. Go Giants, go Giants. The Eagles played the Patriots. Eagles. Like, what are we talking about here? Of course. Screw the Patriots. Can I not say that enough in 20 different languages? Screw New England. F New England. Screw the Patriots. Screw Vrabel. Screw Drake May. Screw them all. I hope they never go to the Super Bowl again. I hope they burn in hell. No, screw New England. What the hell are we talking about here? So, yes, to me, we had our chance at Vrabel. It didn't work out. To be honest, I don't even know how much of a chance we had because Vrabel did visit us in our building, but days later, we didn't fill out the Rooney Rule at that point yet. And then days later, the Patriots job opens up, and then we never have a chance. So, yeah, I don't get it. So I feel terrible for the I don't feel terrible for the people that I don't want to lie. I feel whatever for the people that have that. Sad that some people would be rooting for that. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. No. Yeah, so me personally, no, I'm not rooting for New England. That's the fucking dumbest thing I've ever heard. I try not to swear, but that's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I don't understand that at all. Screw Drake May, screw the Patriots, screw them all. I don't know if I can make that any more clear. But thank you, Armani. You have 3 raffle tickets to our contest. Another super chat's coming in. This is DNY for life, baby.
Wow.
Oh, yes. That was juicy. Great point here by DNY for life. $5 super chat. Thank you, DNY for life. Love seeing T-Rex arms, Will Anderson, or what's his name? Will Campbell. Will Campbell is his name. Getting his ass kicked. Can't wait to see Arvell Reese or Ruben Bain do the same. Fuck the Patriots and fake Jet fans. Yes, Will Campbell is his name. Yeah, T-Rex arms got smacked around and arm length, and look at the arm length. He was getting mashed by whoever the Seattle defender was. It felt delicious. I'm not going to lie. It felt absolutely delicious to see him implode. By the way, you have 7 raffle tickets to our contest this month, DIY for life. I'll update the banner after the show. But yeah, baby, screw Will Campbell, screw the Patriots. That was delicious. And I can't wait. To your point, right? Let's say number 2 overall, we go pass rusher. Woo-wee. Rain hellfire on that guy. I'm so glad the Patriots didn't take Armand Membu. Thank God. Because then we would have probably been stuck with Will Campbell. So Armand Membu for life, baby. He looks like this like top 10 right tackle forever. And Will Campbell getting smacked around like a little bitch. Terrific. Yeah, DIY for life. I won't lie. I enjoyed the blank out of that. That was great. Absolutely terrific. Here we go. Let's get another super chat in here on the program. Let's go to How About Them Jets 5092. Appreciate you, pal. And every time we get a super chat in, we hear from my downers around Linda.
Wow.
I agree. How about them Jets? Thank you for this $5 super chat. You got a raffle ticket to our contest here. He says, true Jet fans, you couldn't pay me to wear that Super Bowl hat with the Pats logo on it or anything with any other AFC East teams. Yeah, if there was a world where I was famous enough to be at a game that the NFL like allowed me to go to and said, hey, can you like wear some of our Super Bowl material? Can you like promote this? I would wear like the Super Bowl hat that's just like the random color and it says like Super Bowl 60 on it with none of the teams. Maybe I probably would have been wearing Jet shit, to be honest. But yeah, okay, maybe I'd wear that, but I'm not wearing it even if there's a Seattle and a Patriots logo on it. Hell no. No. Heck no. Absolutely not. I'm lighting that hat on fire. No, I am not wearing that. So yeah, Adam Sandler, come on, push back against it. You're Adam freaking Sandler. You can wear whatever the hell you want, man. Come on, man. Yeah, you couldn't pay me to do that. And I don't know if he gets paid for those events, but still. Like, hell no. Come on, man. No friggin' way. Absolutely not. No. No. Absolutely, again, not. How about them, Jets? By the way, you got a raffle ticket to our contest. Again, that's it. You saw it. Other people had it at the Super Bowl. Wear the generic Super Bowl hat that has no logos on it. If you have to. I would have wore Jets if I was there. But if you had to, I guess, then you wear that hat. Come on, man. Come on, Sandler. You put yourself in that position. And Tirico was an idiot. So come on, man. What the hell is going on? But thank you for the super chat. Cap says rooting for the Patriots is crazy. 100%. NY Jets FL says, did Elon call about Drake yet? No. Interestingly, he didn't. No. Because Drake May sucked. He was awful in the game. Absolutely terrible. He was god awful. I don't expect an Elon call for a little bit. For good reason. Because Drake May sucked. Just terrible. Absolutely awful. But no, we didn't. Yeah, the coaching job of Mike Vrabel didn't seem like he had his team prepared. Yikes. And man, they did solid in the red zone defense if you want to give them credit for something. But Seattle should have blown even more. They blew them out, but they should have blown them out even more, quite frankly. I can't wait. 15 years says, great that the Pats lost, but then you're reminded AG is still our head coach. Again, that doesn't bother me. Let's hope he turns it around. He is our head coach. And again, even if you're not a fan of AG, which some people obviously in our audience aren't fans of AG, that's not going to take away my pleasure from seeing the Patriots lose in the Super Bowl. Not one iota. as a matter of fact, to make that perfectly clear to everyone out in the audience. Oh, yes. I can't wait. Well, everybody, fun show. Thank you so much for all the love. Nagi Boko with the membership. Austrian Jet Fan with the super chat for Indy. Dan the Jets Fan 21 using his 9-month membership shout out. Armani AD, DIY for life. How about them, Jets? You guys are the best. Again, we'll post this mock draft out there on social media and on YouTube, so you guys will get a chance to interact with it. If you missed Drew Batty's 2-round post Super Bowl mock draft, that was awesome. We'll put that out on all social media so you guys can react and respond to it. I will be back live in about 2 hours for a live show at 11 o'clock, the MC Show digital channel. That'll also be cross-streaming over here as well. And we'll talk more Super Bowl and more Patriots sucking, which I will thoroughly enjoy. And all the other tentpole events that are set to come with franchise tag deadline, combine. There's a lot of stuff cooking, folks, and we'll keep you posted with the latest. If you could do me a favor on the way out, make sure you guys like the video. We have 500 people watching, 130 people watching on YouTube, and make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you haven't already for all the support. Every time there are Jet news, I will keep you updated in the Jets YouTube shorts with new hires and things of that nature here on the program, and that's what we'll do. We'll be back tomorrow morning with another episode of Boy Green Daily as well, 7:30, back to our normal start time. Well, first off, thanks everybody for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the show. And the final message is this: fuck the Patriots! Boom, 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 boom. Suck it, New England, you bastards. Go Jets.